Welcome, Mr. Marius. You are the Vice Minister of Ministry of Economy and Innovation of Lithuania. So, my first question is that India and Lithuania having a very strong cultural relationship. So, on that basis, what is your expectation how India and Lithuania can go for a better economic relation?
Thank you very much for having this interview. I think Lithuania's and India's economic cooperation has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential because we have so many common strengths in industries ranging from the information technology to life sciences and pharmaceuticals, where both India and Lithuania have strong historical competences, strong companies that are active in the global markets, and it creates a strong basis for potential cooperation. We see a lot of potential in investments coming from India to Lithuania, because Lithuania positions itself as a country that is really open to any company from the world that wants to do business here in Europe, that wants to access European markets, and we are working on providing the fastest gateway to European market, whether you want to open a factory or R&D center.
So, if you can tell me briefly, what are the areas you are looking for where India and Lithuania can have a good, investment or bilateral trade?
I think one of the areas where we could find these opportunities is in information technology. The information technology sector, we know that it's really strong in India, but it's a similar story in Lithuania. Our talents, professionals employed in the number of professionals employed in the IT industry, it's growing 13% every year. So this is the level of growth that we are seeing. We see global companies such as Vintent and Nord Security that created their success stories here, and it could be an opportunity for Indian companies too. The other sector that I would mention is the life sciences industry, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology. It's a sector where Lithuania has a clear ambition to be creating at least 5% of GDP in these sectors. And we know that India also has a very strong pharmaceutical sector where companies are leading in the world in certain niches. We also created the investment highway here. So for life sciences or manufacturing companies or information technology companies, they can find very short procedures for setting up their operations. And it takes months rather than years to start constructing factories here, and the regulatory procedures are very much streamlined. So that's why it creates opportunities for industries such as life sciences or information technology. I would also mention that, yes, we can talk about investments, but certain Lithuanian technologies such as lasers could be really beneficial to India's economy, because Lithuanian lasers...
How it can benefit India, if you can throw some light on that?
Yeah, so Lithuanian lasers are actually used by not all, but 9 out of 10 top universities in the world. So these lasers are used for all the cutting-edge application in various research. What we are also seeing that industries such as semiconductors, they are tapping into Lithuanian laser technology for industrial applications. So our laser industry, which is exporting 90% of its production and is really open to any kind of international cooperation, this could provide ample opportunities for Indian companies or research institutions to tap into these technologies to deepen the R&D capability or manufacturing productivity. The final bit that I would like to mention is, of course, yes, trade relations are important, investment relations are important, but Lithuania also provides opportunities for tourism, and as you can see, it's a beautiful country with really a lot of culture, history, and beautiful nature that could also be of interest to Indian citizens to come and visit and see what we have.
As you have mentioned tourism, do you have any static how much footfall from India as a tourist, Indians coming here as a tourist? Do you have any kind of data about that, and how more footfall you want and what you are doing in that regard?
I cannot mention the specific numbers at the moment, but it's a similar story for trade, for investment, for tourism, that the numbers right now, they're at the early stage. So we still see relatively low numbers, but we see a lot of growth potential. So this is the opportunity that it provides. If you start from maybe a lower base, but the growth, that potential that exists is huge, it creates opportunities for Indian companies, for Lithuanian companies, that will create these partnerships and will actually increase their performance.
Two more questions. One about FTA. India, you both are engaged in FTA for many years. So how do you see and how it should be materialized? How soon? And what is Lithuania's expectations from that FTA?
Lithuania as a country, we are a small open economy that really wants free trade opportunities with different regions in the world, and we are used to being an exporting country where our economic model is based on international cooperation and partnerships with other countries. So from our side, we are of course interested in seeing major free trade agreements happen as soon as possible, because it creates favorable opportunities for us all. And from our side, we are creating favorable conditions for Indian companies as well as other foreign investors to come and invest here into Lithuania and to find the most streamlined procedures for setting up their operations. So this is the focus. This is an important priority for us.
My final question is that there is a war going on between Ukraine and Rus, and it has impacted the world economy. So in that context, how you got impacted with this war, and what kind of measures you have taken to avoid any kind of negative impact on your economy due to this war?
So Lithuania, of course, every country in Europe and the world is affected by the geopolitical threats and as well as wars going on. From our side, of course, it's really important to achieve peace and find solutions to these conflicts that exist. And we are working hard on making Europe a secure region. So it's not only about words, but about the actions that we are taking. So we are part of the European Union, of NATO, of these major alliances that are making Europe secure. But we are also investing into defense. And the amount of investments that we are putting in is 5%. The goal is to have at least 5 to 6% of GDP invested into defense. So it creates really strong basis for the security in the region, and we take these risks seriously.
And you have to also contribute almost 5% of your GDP for NATO. Mm-hmm. So how it will impact your economy?
So even before the decision that NATO took to agree on this target, Lithuania made its own decision. So even before that, our decision was that we need to be spending at least 5 to 6% of GDP on defense. So whether it's going to affect the economy, we see a lot of potential actually in this sphere, because Europe is creating a strong defense industry right now. And what we saw last year, that Rheinmetall, a German ammunition and other equipment manufacturer, made the decision to invest into Lithuania and open a strategic ammunition factory here. So this is an example how investments into defense, it not only increases the security, but it also creates opportunities for economic growth, where Lithuania could see investments into defense industry. That's why we launched VITIS initiative, which is a huge program to boost defense innovation. So yes, of course, it creates certain risk for economic growth, but I think investments into defense is a strong basis for long-term prosperity, as well as for strengthening our defense industry and the capabilities that we have there.
Thank you.
Thank you.